Skateboarding is not just a great way to stay active. It also really helps improve your balance, your general coordination, and mental health. This has all been scientifically proven. Skateboarding can be a big outlet to actually get so many benefits beyond just the skills of skateboarding itself. Studies have also proven that skateboarding in itself can reduce stress and improve cognitive function. So in essence, not only are you getting a good workout, but you're also getting mental clarity. You're getting so many advantages from skateboarding. So in this video, I want to dive into 6 different practical tips that anybody can take away, but especially if you're 35 plus years old and you skate alone a lot, like I have to skate alone a lot, because the reality is most people in the mid-30s have responsibilities and they can't just be skateboarding all day. Hopefully these 6 tips can help motivate you to get out there and skate. If it's not skating, then to do whatever it is that you truly do love. So for the first tip number 1 is being responsibly irresponsible, or irresponsibly responsible. That's what I'm getting at. And what I'm talking about this is like right now, for example, I'm skating in my backyard. I actually wanted to go out and film some good like clips for the video part today, but I just had to put a pause and realize, you know what? I gotta take a step back. Even though I really do want to skate, I can't skate. So kind of what I'm getting into is being safe, essentially, because skateboarding inherently is not a very safe thing and it's dangerous, and that's just part of the culture of skateboarding essentially. So I actually recently started to knee slide. I got my first knee pads a year ago. Actually, it's been a little while. I actually don't know how to knee slide the right way. Someone was mentioning I need to learn how to knee slide because I'm tearing up the bottom of my knee pads. But the other thing that I actually got was a helmet recently too. And a trick that I've been super terrified of, actually have PTSD trauma from, is back disaster, back revert. But what I did is actually put my helmet on and I learned that trick. It helped me just like get the confidence and in the right mindset to commit to the trick. So I think kind of the takeaway from this is that you can have safety. Even though skateboarding is inherently dangerous, you can still have safety things about it. So it's just like learning how to fall could be another thing. For example, getting padded up, getting helmet, doing things like that, and just setting yourself up for success, even though like the reality is there's still a chance that you're always going to get hurt. So I think a lot of people quit skateboarding because inherently it's too dangerous, or they had a slam that just like took them out and it's scary. Getting back into the groove can be pretty daunting. All right, tip number 2, how to skate alone. 35 plus years old, is all about finding the right skate park or skate obstacle that can provoke you to skate better and skate like more often. I'll get into what I mean by that. I'll get into the details in a second, but obviously I have my backyard ramp now. It's been a big game changer. I think I just have more confidence on my board. So when I go to a skate park, I just feel like I can do the tricks that I really want to do, and I don't spend a whole bunch of time warming up and exhausting myself and just like getting to the same place that I was. I call them maintenance sessions essentially. You can't just skate one day a week and expect to actually progress or anything like that. Like if anything, if you're skating one day a week, chances are you're just able to maintain the tricks that you have, if that at the bare minimum. This is sort of like a double tip, 2-in-1 tip. So the maintenance sessions are really important, but it's about finding the right place that provokes you and makes you want to skate essentially. Now I get a lot of questions about how to learn or how to progress on transition without having multiple sides of transition. Obviously that is the best case scenario. You have like a 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, and so on. But the reality is not everybody has that. So this is a bit of a challenge to figure out where to go and where to skate so that you can get in the sessions that you want to get or learn the tricks that you want to learn. Not everyone has access to all the skate parks that we do here in California. I do realize that we're very privileged. I'll go into some tips, but one thing that you definitely can do if you have no skate parks at all, you can start a DIY spot. I've made tons of videos on how to build your own DIY stuff, like quarter pipes, banks, banked ledges themselves, pole jams, like all of that stuff. I'll leave a link up above, a playlist to all the DIY stuff. The other thing is you can do is convince your city to get a skate park. If you live in an area that doesn't have any skate parks at all, chances are you actually can do this. You might be the one person that can. If you're asking yourself like, why don't we have a skate park? Why hasn't nobody done this? You might be the person that needs to do it. So I've made a whole series of how to get skate parks made through city grants, city funding, everything like that, the whole bureaucracy of the whole thing. I'll leave a link up above. Again, this is Kenton Russell actually that I met up with. We made a whole series on how to do this. So from getting funding from the skate park project, aka Tony Hawk's Foundation, to getting city council meetings and everything like that. Obviously this is a challenge for anybody that doesn't have access. This is I don't have the perfect solutions. It's just about being vigilant and making those spaces. the obvious answer beyond finding a skate park or building it yourself, look for empty parking lots or places where you can skate without too many distractions or people around you. Having friends is a great way to get motivated to go skating if you're not motivated. However, I found that my most progressive sessions are typically when I'm completely alone and I repeat the same trick over and over and over without any downtime in between. I've actually found it a lot harder to learn tricks when you have other people trying to do tricks they already know how to do very consistently on the same session as you. I think it's a combination of being demotivated by someone else landing every trick, and it takes away from your thought process. So inclusion for tip number 2, I highly suggest you put yourself in an environment where it provokes you to learn the best way that you learn. So if you learn great with friends and them pushing you, then do that. But if you find yourself actually learning better when you're alone and just doing the repetition like I just talked about recently, then make sure you find those spaces as well. It's about like getting into a state where you're not thinking about trying it mentally or physically. And sometimes in order to do that, you really have to be so submerged in the physical act of trying it. All right, tip number 3 for skating alone, getting motivated, is gonna be music. I say music and I show you these. These are the Open Rock headphones. I've actually been using them the whole time in between filming dialogue to get hyped. Skateboarding alone can be pretty daunting, so shout out to Open Rock for sponsoring this video. First off, I love these headphones. I'm gonna get into them in a second, but I wanna explain why I think music is a great way to hype you up and motivate you essentially to get out there. The question I get often is, how do I get motivated to skate alone? And my biggest tip for that is music and watching these videos, of course. I've been using these Open Rock Pro open ear air conduction sport earbuds for the past month and a half whenever I'm skating at my mini ramp alone. When I first tried these headphones on, I thought to myself, no way is the audio going to be clear, because they felt so airy compared to noise canceling headphones that I normally work with. But immediately I was so surprised at how good the audio is. Not only that, I can still hear my skateboard, which I think is extremely important when you're learning tricks. You need to hear your skating while still being able to hear the music. These headphones really balance that better than any others I've used before. A big bonus is you get 19 hours on a single charge. They also have PX5 waterproof rating, plus resistance to sweat, dust, and moisture, which ultimately I think is a really good headphone for anybody that's not just skating, but anybody that's like athletic. Yeah, in general, I think these are great because if you want to go to the skate park and jam out, you can jam out too. I'm not a big fan of people having like big boom boxes that are super loud. Like sometimes I'll do a little boom box with a little music, but yeah, I think headphones is probably the best way to do it. And what's great about these headphones is you can actually hear other people around you skating. So, you know, if it's a packed skate park, you could still have that like ability to pay attention. If someone's like bored or yelling at you, you're not having your noise canceling headphones, but you're still getting that really good audio. So yeah, shout out to Open Rock. You guys roll. Super hyped on these headphones. All right, tip number 4 is a pretty practical one, but it's about keeping things simple. And it might be kind of contradictory to the things I was saying before, but I think it is an important thing to think about. Hello. I gotta film the dialogue for the homies. Now, when I say keep it simple, I think it's about like perfecting the tricks that you already have versus worrying about learning new tricks all the time. This is something that I've challenged myself with a couple times where like I really want to learn new tricks and just focus on these new tricks, but then I don't have as much fun and I'm like too worried about like making a YouTube video or like trying to progress versus just like perfecting my current bag of tricks. So that is a big thing that you definitely need to do. It's just like do all the tricks that you already know, figure out how to do them longer, higher, whatever it is, so that you're not so focused always about learning new tricks, because that in itself can be pretty daunting and it won't be very motivating to go skate if you're always focused on progressing. Essentially, you don't always have to progress to have a good time on your skateboard, especially when you're skating alone. Personally, I really love just doing frontside grinds. Switch frontside grind is a newer trick for me, but I've just been doing that really consistently, and then doing rock and rolls. Like I have a routine essentially now on my mini ramp, and I think that is a little caveat to this tip, or not a caveat, sorry, an add-on to this tip is like finding a routine of tricks that you can do, but maybe you're not like super good at them. Like they're maybe your hardest tricks that you do know how to do, but you don't do them every try. That's what I've been doing on my mini ramp. Trying to speak too fast. This is what happens. But that's what I've been trying to do on my mini ramp is like I have like 5 tricks that I really like, and I try to do all of them in one line essentially by the end of the session. That's my goal. It's not always about progressing, but sometimes it could be fun to try to perfect whatever that means to you, your tricks. Understand I might get some heat for this 5th tip, but it's about gear maintenance, because I think sometimes this stuff can just mess with you too much. Oh, how's it going? Every time I come sit down, Ruby's like, what's up, Dad? Gear is something that like really excites me to like get out and go skate. Recently, I got my first pair of Bone Swiss, and now I feel like I'm more inclined to skate spots that I had like a hard time getting speed for. So this can be a little bit of a double-edged sword too, though, because if you are always focused on new product and you're not putting in the time, you're not going to progress, you're not going to have a good time, and you're just going to be spending a bunch of money on skateboard products. So that's, you know, a caveat. And if you don't have money to buy a new board or new bearings or Swiss or anything like that, you can also just go to the skate shop and watch the videos that they're playing at the skate shop, talk to the people that are at the skate shop who own the skate shop, or just locals in general, and submerge yourself in that environment, because I don't think always skateboarding in itself is motivating. So you can be alone, maybe go out, take a break, check out the local skate shop, and go back to your session. It's just good to sort of mix up your environment. Essentially, you get a lot of inspiration, a lot of motivation to go skate outside of skateboarding in itself. Now, the sixth and final tip I have for y'all skating alone in your 30s or at any age, like I was saying before, is just having a really healthy routine in general. So a morning routine, the end of the afternoon routine, and just consistently showing up to skateboard in itself. In the parking lot, no matter what it is, type of skating you're doing, whether you're trying to progress that transition, curves, your flip tricks, whatever it is, it's just constantly showing up, but also having that routine, a healthy diet, everything like that. I've made a video before all into like my diet, what I eat, and intermittent fasting. I've talked about cold plunging earlier, and then just having that healthy routine. I've talked about microdosing mushrooms, psilocybin. Like, all these things are essentially to help me feel more mentally good so that I can skateboard, and physically as well. The diet has a big role in it as well. So yeah, just like anything that you want to get good at, whether it be like getting super ripped or whatever, you got to put in the time, not in just the aspect of whatever it is you're doing, in this case skateboarding, but also outside of it, so that you can provoke good skateboarding. My diet and everything, even my daily routine, there's no way it's the same as it was when I was 21 or even like 5 years ago. I spent so much time just working on all of that, and basically I kind of think about it this way as like work ethics, essentially, right? Like, there's this Jenga meme going around about how like skaters have these crazy work ethics, and I would apply that to just thinking about it in so many different forms. Like, you wouldn't show up to a 5 or 4 day work week, show up one day out of your 4 days and expect to get the same amount of work done. You have to show up all 4 days, and if you're going to show up for just 3 days out of your 4 day work week, chances are you're going to have to work extra hard on one of those days to make up for that time. And you can think about that with skateboarding context as well. Like, you can't just show up one day and expect to like get the confidence and get things done and have everything the way that you really want. You got to show up at least, not every day maybe for skateboarding, but you got to show up multiple days throughout the week if you want to get that mental confidence when you are on the board. Because if I just go and skate one day out of the week, there's no way I'm going to feel as confident mentally as I would if I was skating a bunch. And this isn't like even really playing too much of a role into your physical abilities. You might be working out other days or whatever it is, but so much of skateboarding is mental. I hope these tips help you and get you motivated to get out there and skate at any age, no matter what. No excuses, unless, you know, you want to make up excuses. You can do that too. Leave some tips down below for the community on how to keep skating at your age too. And let me know how old you guys are, what you do to maintain your skateboarding sessions. I love you. MASH.